So everyone likes a good villain, right? Usually authors have a good balance of lovable and hateable villains throughout their stories, but Cyans really don't. And thinking of that made me think, man, I could use this for a video while I work on the council video, and I'm not even going to try and hide it this time. So I just want to take a quick dive into 3 of Cyan's villains from his stories, Lucille, Lars, and Beatrice. This won't be in like an in-depth look at their backstories or anything, just maybe like their progression in the stories that they're in, and like maybe how they changed or grew as characters, I don't know. But I'll also be kind of critiquing them and giving my own commentary on their progression stuff. And now, so I don't have to edit this for 3 days, I'm just going to like start the video now. So in advance, I'm sorry for the lack of visuals in this part, because Cyan makes 0 art of Lucille, and she appears in a number of videos, more than 0, less than 2. So in case you forgot about her, which apparently some people have, Lucille Hawthorne was one of the main antagonists of How Deep Can I Go, and functions as one of Diane's bullies who caused her anorexia. And trust me, this is not the first Hawthorne we're going to talk about. She's in like 3 or 4 chapters of the whole story and never really shows her face again. Okay, that's a lie. She kinda shows up in Robin's story Breaking Free for like 1 chapter, and that's it. Lucille is like, she's like that popular girl in high school who's a dick to everyone. She doesn't really show any remorse for her actions, you know, in her debut story, and she just like, she's very hard to like, because she's not meant to be like. But then in Robin's story, she does show remorse as an adult, and she wants to hyper apologize to everyone, especially Diane. And it's just a very jarring shift that surprises everyone. So I love Lucille's characterization, How Deep Can I Go, because she's who she needs to be. She is that unwilling to see that what she's doing is wrong force. And I like that in Breaking Free, when she's an adult, she realizes that she did some fucked up stuff and tries to like redeem herself. She tries for redemption, to apologize to Diane. The only thing that really gets me is just a sudden shift from being absolutely thinking she did nothing wrong to thinking that she needs to apologize to everyone. Like, there's no explanation for that sudden shift. We're just supposed to believe it happened sometime. Probably when Lucille was in college or something, I don't know. And like, if the idea was that she always regretted it, it's never well conveyed. And I'm not saying you have to do a character study on Lucille, but in all, she's a character that people don't really like, so she's probably not gonna matter. I mean, I guess I did one and it did good for some reason. I don't really know why, probably because it was just Lucille torture, but for some reason the general public thinks Lucille is less redeemable than Beatrice, which is like absolutely bonkers insane to me, because like at least Lucille never killed anyone. Oh, speaking of. So Lars is like a textbook definition of a sociopath, right? He's a twisted serial killer who psychologically tortured his cousin until he wouldn't eat and died in the hospital, and has been stalking his own sister who works at a high school, killing off her students after they graduate and making sure she knows in order to dementedly torture her so much that she kills herself. And somehow people like him? Okay, so Lars is the main antagonist of Breaking Free, which you should finish, Cyan, and is the boyfriend of Robin, the main character, and he's just like physically and emotionally abusive to her. Robin was actually going to be one of his victims, being the student of Charlotte, Lars' sister, who he's decided to torment for reasons that I won't get into, but he kept her to be his girlfriend because she reminds him of his mother. He kept the woman who looks like his mother as his girlfriend because he liked that she looked like his mother. Oh boy, Freud is laughing from the grave. The story with him isn't finished. This parts where he's in it is finished, so I'll just go from that. Lars has 0 redeeming qualities, period, and somehow people like him. He's literally the serial killer that ladies will advocate for him to be released from jail just because he looks pretty. But well, Cyan executed Lars' story pretty well. He perfectly displayed what's meant to be. I only wish that we got more clues that he was a killer throughout the story. Like Robin piecing together from the way he acts to like maybe when he disappears, maybe murders on the news, that kind of stuff. You know, maybe she finds out but has to keep quiet about it because she's afraid of Lars, or maybe she tells Lars she knows what's up and is going to call the police, but Lars basically is like, oh, if you go to the police, Diane's dead, or something like that, you know? I don't know. Overall though, Lars is probably one of the more memorable villains, more memorable than Lucille apparently. though just because of his pure psychotic factor. Speaking of absolute psychos, Beatrice Hawthorne. I feel like Beatrice is pretty infamous with the community already, but if you're not in the loop, she's the worst. For a while, she was homophobic, currently is racist, transphobic, and has gotten away with many indirect murders. She's also just ungrateful and entitled, and is the main villain of Avon's story, Ashes to Flames. Okay, to be fair, she acts completely heartless, but does actually have feelings. Probably. Beatrice is pretty much the fan favorite villain to hate, and for good reason to be fair. I do like the recent development that Beatrice feels guilty and helps Avon with her surgery stuff though. I think that's pretty cool. But I don't think it's enough to completely turn public opinion on her. I don't really think Beatrice gets enough excessive hate for what she's done though, I'll be completely honest. Like I said before, I like the direction that Cyan's taking with her, and I'm kind of excited. As a villain, I think she's the best developed by leagues, miles, kilometers, whatever. Cyan's taken a lot of time building her up, so that's probably why she feels like the best one. Unlike Lars and Lucille, she's been worked on constantly for like the past couple years, so that's definitely why her quality of villain is the best. I'm sure if he did something like build up the others, like have Lucille show her regretting her actions like Beatrice does, I could connect her to make her a better villain. Or if we saw like Lars's build up to meeting Robin when he's like killing students, you know, and seeing him like have regret nothing when he's getting executed, you know, I think that would also make him not so lovable to all those people who seem to think he's really great. But as they stand, Beatrice is by far the most well-developed purely because she's the villain that has been in the most stories/comics. I'm sure that with time, with his other villains, he could get to that level if he just put enough time and effort consistently into them and their narrative. I hope that video occupied your time at least. It was an attempt to make a kind of filler video between making the big council video and this, so if you have any ideas in the meantime, comment them down below and I can explore making a video about it. Comment any idea, I really don't care. Thank you to my patron Alex, I appreciate the support, and hope you all have a great day. Remember that you're all beautiful. Bye!